Module 10, Authentic Adaptability, Being Genuine while Being Flexible. One of the benefits of utilizing your communication strengths and truly being yourself is that others are more likely to feel comfortable around you. They'll experience genuine and authentic interactions, helping build trust over time, which is fundamental to strong relationships. This doesn't mean there aren't times when you need to adapt your communication style. It pays to be flexible in how you engage with others in different circumstances. This connects back to being socially aware and conscious of who you're communicating with. But when you're clear on your natural communication style, you're better positioned to flex appropriately. Identifying your communication strengths. Let's start by looking inward at your communication strengths. These might include communicating messages clearly and effectively, really listening to what others are saying, making people feel comfortable and heard, picking up on dynamics quickly, making genuine and authentic connections, communicating one-on-one or leading large group meetings. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, what am I naturally good at? If you're unsure where your communication strengths lie, ask trusted colleagues for feedback. Sometimes others spot our strengths more effectively because strengths feel familiar and hidden to ourselves. Adaptive communication strategies. Consider how adaptable you are in your communication style. For example, do you change your tone when meeting with someone who's high energy versus someone who's calmer? This doesn't mean changing who you are. It means showing different sides of your personality in different situations. The key is always communicating in ways that align with your values and feel genuine. Adaptation examples: matching energy levels and tone of voice, mirroring appropriate body language, consciously showing relevant parts of your personality, sharing appropriate stories when comfortable, matching communication styles, focusing on facts and figures with analytical people or customer experience feedback with relationship-focused individuals. While important note, you should never feel pressured to change who you are fundamentally. You want to show up authentically and genuinely in your work life. This process is about being mindful of how you communicate and being adaptable to the extent that feels comfortable. Pre-meeting reflection process. Before your next important conversation, you'll take a moment to reflect. What do I know about the other person's communication style? How can my communication strengths match their style to create productive conversation? How will I flex my communication approach? What could I do more or less of during our interaction? Module 11. Positive conflict management, transforming tension into growth. It's easy to assume that working in conflict-free environments is enjoyable and productive, but often that isn't reality. Healthy conflict at work can spark debates that help people consider alternative perspectives, often resulting in teams pushing the boundaries of what's achievable. Creating environments where people can respectfully challenge ideas, perspectives, and opinions develops healthy culture. When working with others, the key is managing conflict positively. And this is where emotional intelligence becomes crucial. Strategies for positive conflict management strategy. 1. Establish rules of engagement. Agree on interaction guidelines with your team members. Consider how you want to engage with others. What's appropriate and what's not. Discuss this with your team. Even if you're not in a leadership position, you can take initiative in this area and volunteer to create a team charter. Example: guidelines. Encourage everyone to voice their opinions. Ensure all views are acknowledged. Address how challenges should occur, including favorable language and words that might trigger negative emotions. Separate personal elements from idea questioning. Everyone agrees to challenge ideas, not the people presenting them. Strategy 2. Build supportive systems. Minimizing defensiveness creates robust support systems. Although conflict can be challenging to navigate, it's crucial for continuous improvement. While it's often assumed conflict damages connections, managing differences of opinion actually strengthens relationships when done well. Teams that rarely agree on approaches can become strong support systems for each other. The key is respectful disagreement and ensuring everyone feels heard. The plussing technique practice. Plussing. If you plan to challenge an idea, you must add a constructive suggestion, essentially adding to or plussing the idea. This promotes thoughtful and constructive challenge culture. This tip comes from Jay, former president of Pixar Animation Studios, who discusses plussing in his book about creativity. Language considerations. Instead of saying yes, but, which immediately sounds oppositional and makes people defensive, try phrases like yes and, communicating ideas that add to theirs, what if, offering new ways to look at situations. In today's workplace, we don't want to eliminate disagreement because that stifles creativity, productivity, and job satisfaction. Rather, we want to create conditions where conflict, challenge, and debate occur in ways that build solid connections and relationships. Using emotional intelligence supports this approach. Module 12, Communication, Intention, and Impact, Bridging the Gap. How you want to come across may not match how you actually come across to others. Too often we focus on what we want to say. But the impact we make depends more on how others perceive us and our message. Being adaptable and flexible in communication is essential, which is why you shouldn't focus solely on the exact message you want to deliver. Instead, focus more on intention. What you want the other person to take away from your interaction. Each on the sales manager example, consider a sales manager at a large FMCG company overseeing a team of sales consultants. There are key messages everyone needs to know. Facts, figures, targets, conduct codes, marketing information. Some information must be documented for clarity and legal reasons, but most messages are delivered or reinforced informally. One consultant might respond best to one-on-one briefings. Another might prefer email exchanges or informal coffee conversations. Each colleague has different preferences. Focus on intent, not perfect delivery, rather than focusing on exactly what to say. Before each interaction, focus on your intent. What would you like the other person to know or take away? This makes each unique interaction more focused, and you'll be adaptable enough to change your communication style depending on circumstances. Benefits of intention-focused communication. Builds trust. When people understand your intentions, even if execution isn't perfect, they're more likely to listen and engage with you. Boosts confidence. Understanding that it doesn't matter exactly how you deliver messages relieves pressure associated with crafting perfect delivery. Increases authenticity. You'll come across as natural and genuine, which is hugely beneficial when connecting with people. Allows for mistakes. Focusing on intent gives you room for error. As long as you can explain your intentions and delivery reasoning, you have more flexibility. Remember, the key is honesty. Think about the other person's perspective. Effective communication is about the message received by others, not the message you provided. Pre-meeting intention setting before your next meeting. Pause for a few minutes and get clear on your intent. This could be one specific thing you want to achieve or how you want the other person to feel after interacting with you.